Hi everyone, welcome back. So right now I'm going to show you how to model the bay window. It's very simple. So all we have to do is we're just gonna change the scene to wireframe mode and then go to the front view. Okay, so as you can see there's a bit of gap here, which is for my bay window. I'm gonna draw a box. Okay, make sure that snapping to vertices is on, and then I'm just gonna draw, okay, and snap it here. Then my height, I'm gonna just make it like, I'm not sure what it is, so let's go to top view, and then I'm gonna adjust my height to, let's say 300 minus 300. Okay, so I think I'm gonna extend it a bit more, so 350. Okay, so that's my bay window. Then I'm gonna, let's go back, let's duplicate this. Okay, and move it here. Oops. Let's make sure it is snapping correctly, and let's snap it here. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, so now I have the bay window. What I'm going to do is I want to do a bit of chamfering, so I'm going to round the edge here a bit, so that it doesn't look like a pure box, a pure right angle box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this box over here, and then I'm going to change it to edit poly. Okay, edit poly. I'm going to choose these two lines. Okay, the top and bottom line. After that, I'm gonna add a chamfer modifier. Okay, as you can see, once I added the chamfer modifier, it's kind of like adding polygons into it. So maybe I just change it to 5 mm with 5 segments and standard chamfer. So as you can see right now, this is a slightly curved bay window, so it doesn't look so boring. So that's chamfering. You can also do the same for the rest of the walls, some of the corners here. Of course, for the walls, I don't think we should go too much into it. It's just a little bit, just to add a bit of, make it a bit more organic, you know. But the walls are not so critical, and chamfering adds on to the polygon count. So, you know, it's weighing between what you know, how detailed you want to be and how optimized you want the scene to be. So personally, I think I'm gonna leave the wall as it is. We'll see later if we need to do some chamfering for the wall, but I'll just keep the bay window chamfered. Okay, so because we have set this as an instance, the box on the other side is will have the same properties as well. So I think I'm very happy with the bay window, so let's move on with creating some of the other stuff. Okay, so we want to make the ibeam bigger. So first of all, I isolated my ibeam so it's easier to work around it, and also I have renamed it. Okay, and I was looking back at my older files, and I realized that the height of the ibeam should be about 225 mm. The width should be about 100. Okay, so doesn't matter. I think what's more important is the height. The width, I'm not so peculiar. But let's just draw a box. Okay, the box should be about 100 mm in length. Don't really matter the width. And then height should be 225. Okay, so that's my box. Okay, taking a front view, I just want to make sure that they are snapped together. Okay, so that I can be sure of the height. Okay, so now let's work on the I-beam, so it's already an editable mesh. So what I want to simply do is just I highlight all the vertices on top and then move it up. Okay, so that's about it. And then let's try and work on the width now. Let's take a left view. Okay, so I'm gonna move my box to the middle and try to okay, let's not snap this, and try to, yeah, so that it can be used as a gauge. Okay, and then now let's just highlight some of this and move it here. Okay, we don't have to be overly accurate here, so don't really need the snapping tool. Okay, so that's roughly the size of my I-beam. We can now remove the box and unisolate everything. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to put the I-beams into the appropriate place. I want to put one I-beam here, one I-beam here, and this one I-beam here to act as like a support, okay, to the second floor. So let's just play around with this, move it just below the second floor. Okay, let's do a bit of snapping. Okay, and then now I want to kind of like stretch it here. Okay, and let's edit the vertices to extend this all the way here, and the same here. Okay, then I'm going to clone this. Okay, maybe put it somewhere around here, just in front of the wall. Okay, and move this back here, and I'm gonna put one more here. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off my video. You can do that yourself, and I'll see you in the next section. Okay, for some reason my layout is not showing. I'm not sure why. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-import it quickly. Okay, I have kept it somewhere, I believe here. Okay, so once I re-import, it appears back again, so I'm just going to delete back this one. Okay, so now I'm going to model the stairs. Okay, so let's continue. So first of all, I want to draw a box. Okay, so we can use this as a reference. Okay, so the length would probably be about 1000 mm. Okay, oops, it should be the width about 1000. Okay, the length should be about 80 mm. No, sorry, the length should be about 250 mm, and the height should be about 80 mm. Okay, so yeah, that looks about not too right because it's a bit bigger. Okay, so based on my layout, the stairs should be a bit smaller. Okay, so let's change this a bit to maybe around 900. We can adjust it back later, but when we put in the I-beams and stuff like that, we will still need to adjust it, but let's just move on right now. What I'm more concerned is that the length is about 250 mm and the height is about 80 mm. Okay, the width we can adjust later. Okay, so right now we want to do the steps. Okay, so we have the first step. We want to make about 15 steps down, so it will reach somewhere around here. So how I get 15 steps is basically just by taking the height and then roughly dividing by the number of steps, and then so that's about it. Okay, so how I'm gonna like uniformly make it 15 steps. It's very simple. I just use a box. Okay, then I take it from the second floor and draw. Doesn't matter where it ends, but it's about 15 segment. Okay, and then after that we'll just clone the steps, these particular steps. Okay, so let's clone it. I can press Control V to clone. Okay, but I'm not sure why it's not working now. Okay, Control V. Okay, then let's move it down here, and then let's move it down here. All right, and then let's move it away. Okay, something like that. Okay, maybe not 15. Let's change it to 16. Okay, let's change it to 16 segments. Yeah, so let's clone this. Okay, and then I will clone this again. Okay, move this. Okay, I'm gonna make this somewhere around here. Okay, then I'm gonna clone 4 together. Just repeat the steps. Oh, okay, just repeat these steps until you get all the way down. Okay, I'll see you in the next section. Okay, so I have finished doing up my steps. We can now remove the box. Right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ibeam, I'm going to clone it, because now I want to do the ibeam for the steps. Right, so let's just move this here. Okay, and the steps, I'm going to move them slightly a bit upwards, just something like this. Okay, and then I'm going to clone this ibeam to make the angle ibeam. Okay, so this second one I'm gonna rotate it so that it will cover the steps, and then I'm gonna extend this ibeam. Okay, to make it longer, we can shorten it back later. And now I'm gonna rotate it downwards like that. But as you can see, as I try to press the rotate button, right, the pivot is somewhere around here. So when I rotate, it will actually pivot around, which is not really what I want. I want it to pivot around the beginning of this ibeam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the pivot, press the hierarchy button of the ibeam, affect pivot only, press W, then I'm going to shift this all the way to the end of the ibeam. Oops. Okay, so that when I press the ibeam, the pivot is here, and then when I rotate, it will pivot from this particular point. Okay, so now I'm gonna choose the ibeam again and press rotate, and yeah, I just want to try and cover all the bottom left corner of the steps. So maybe let's move it inwards a bit. Okay, I don't want to worry too much about the upper ones first, because I'm going to extend this I-beam. Okay, so let's just worry about the bottom left corners first. Okay, I'm going to rotate slightly upwards. Okay, let's see if we can do this by 34. Yeah, I think this is better. This should be okay. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these points and this point up. So as you can see, the angle I-beam should be longer and bigger, should be longer in height, right? Whereas the other I-beam should be the standard height. Okay, so one quick way to do it is just choose the I-beam, choose the top vertices, okay, and move it upwards. Okay, so turn off all the snapping. Okay, so when we do that, we can see that the steps are mostly covered by the I-beams. Okay, and then this also envelope. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so now I'm going to cut away this portion of the I-beam for this particular I-beam. So how we're going to do that is, first we will go to line tool. Okay, and just draw a line across, right? Okay, and then make sure this line envelopes the rest of the I-beam, and we close the spline. Okay, after that, what we can do is, let's extrude this line, okay, by 500 mm, so that it kind of like envelopes the I-beam. Okay, so let's go back to our view. Okay, then what we're going to do is we highlight the I-beam, go to compound objects, boolean, and then pick operand B, and we pick the line tool. Okay, so once that is done, it will cut off whatever intersects with the line. We're going to do the same for this I-beam. Okay, so let's draw a line. Okay, after that, just make sure that this envelopes it, close the spline, extrude by 500 mm, make sure they intersect, and then pick my I-beam, go to compound, boolean, pick operand B. Okay, okay, so let's continue to finish up the stairs. Right now, as you can see, the I-beam is not really aligned with the stairs, so I'm gonna just have a top view. First of all, I'm gonna just select all the steps. Okay, I'm gonna make the steps smaller to accommodate for these spaces. Okay, so I'm gonna use an edit mesh, and then select all the vertices and move it slightly. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clone this I-beam that I have done. Okay, and I'm gonna move it inside, but I'm gonna snap it to the wall. Okay, and then the steps, I'm gonna snap it to the middle of the I-beam. Okay, somewhere around here will be good. And then this portion, I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, somewhere around here, snap it. Okay, then you realize that this I-beam is kind of like intersect with the wall. Okay, not sure if you're able to see this. Maybe, oops, can't really hide this. Okay, as you can see, the I-beam is intersecting with the wall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the wall here a little bit, just so that it will just nicely touch the I-beam. Okay, so let's go to the top view. Go back to our wireframe. Select the wall. Okay, and then I'm just gonna choose these vertices and move it down. Okay, so this should do the trick. Okay, I think I'm happy with this, and let's move on. Okay, so now I'm going to do the railings. The railings are pretty simple to do. So all we just use simple boxes to model them. So what we can do is just create a box. Okay, I think a box that is, the height is usually 1 meter, so 1000 meter. The width, let's put it as maybe 40 mm by 40 mm. So I think the railing will be this high. I think this is fine. So yeah, so let's use this box. Okay, and again, I don't really need to be too specific about this or too precise about this. So just move them up, move the railings up. Okay, and then let's move it all the way to the second. Let's move it to the second floor. Okay, so maybe you can clone a few by pressing Ctrl V. I'll just put one right here, and another Ctrl V. Okay, so really very simple boxes. We don't really have to make it so complex. Okay, and I'm not going for the precision fill here. Of course, you can be precise by measuring, using boxes to measure the distance between each box and stuff like that. But I think since this is just an art, we are going for the artistic look rather than the precise precision on the modeling. So I'm happy to just use an estimation. Okay, so let's duplicate this further. Oops. Let's take my box and move it. Okay. So yeah, maybe somewhere around here. Okay, and then duplicate it. Okay, so this shall make the railing. So let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to now model the handle. So how I'm going to do that is I just want to isolate some of the boxes here. So I'm going to highlight this and maybe just keep the outer walls. Okay, so let's isolate them. Okay, take a left view. So I'm going to draw a line across here, and then after that, and when it touch this particular side of the wall, I'm going to draw a line down, because this is where the I-beam intersects. So let me just turn on the I-beam. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line here across like that, and then when it reach where the I-beam intersects the part of the wall, I'm going to draw a straight line down to form the last handle. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, and then again, don't have to be too concerned about being accurate, because what will end up happening is, if you want to get the same angle as the I-beam, you'll likely have to cut through some of these boxes. Okay, so let's do something like this. Okay, oops. So yeah, something like this will be good. And then after that, okay, so once we have the line, again, you can use the Boolean method I teach you to remove all this later, but for now, let's just take the line and then go to the spline to highlight the spline, and then go to the outline tab and type 40. Okay, so this will create an outline. Let's go to the top view. Okay, so this is still in one line. Okay, and then we will extrude. Hold on, let's just make sure. Okay, I want to change this particular vertex. Okay. Okay, so let me turn on my snapping. Okay, so okay, once I have this, I will extrude. Okay, so once you extrude, you realize, you see that you form kind of like a box. Okay, and once we are done with that, let's move on. Okay, just to adjust the railing a bit, I'm gonna change this into an editable mesh. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift these two vertices to be the same as this, so that later when I add the horizontal side of the railing, it will be flush with this side. Okay, so let's just do some adjustments. Okay, I think this is good, so let's move on. Okay, now I want to edit these two boxes so that their angles are correct and they are not jutting out and stuff like that. However, these boxes were previously instances, so if I make changes to them, these will also be changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it unique. Okay, so make unique. This one as well, I'm going to make unique. Okay, so that when I make changes to this, it will not affect the other boxes. Okay, so simply I'll just use edit mesh. Just use just move these vertices down to where it is touching these faces. Okay, so let's see if we use a face. Oops. Okay, so just play around with the vertices until they are snapped nicely. Okay, so faces doesn't really work. Midpoint, let's turn this off. Hopefully edge will help me in my snapping. Okay, I'm gonna move this as well. Okay, so you can do this later by yourself, so I'm just going to show you how to do this. Okay, so just make sure. Okay, looking it, so you can do the same thing using what I have teach you, and I'll see you in the next section. Okay, so next I'm just going to do one more railing, the horizontal railing for this. Again, it's quite easy. Let's just isolate the boxes. Okay, whatever boxes we need, let's just isolate these, and then there should be okay, so let's just choose this box. I think this is okay, so let's isolate this. Okay, so I'm just gonna use a box modifier to create a box here. Let's turn on the outer walls as well, so I know where it ends. Okay, so let's just do a box. Again, it doesn't have to be accurate. We can always do a edit mesh later if it doesn't work out, right? So not to worry. Okay, and the height, I want to put it as 40 mm. Okay, 40. Okay, so yeah, this is looking good. Then I'll just take this box. I can just okay, let's just edit mesh it. Okay, so all we have to do now is to just create the railings in between here and here, and we will be done. So for the railings, I'll just use a cylinder modifier, and then we should be done. So let's move on. So I'm gonna do a cylinder. Okay, use a cylinder modifier. Radius maybe 1 mm. Height maybe let's try 100 first. Okay. Maybe a bit too small, maybe 10 mm. Okay, so need to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, let's extend the height to 4000. Okay, so again we can use the edit mesh modifier later, but for now this is good. Okay, so make sure they're in the right place. I think I'm gonna reduce the radius a bit. Yeah. Put it here. Okay. Somewhere in the middle. Okay, then I'm gonna edit mesh it. Extend it all the way. And edit mesh this, extend here. Okay, and then gonna clone this. bring this down, bring this down. Okay, something like this will do. Okay, looking good. And the last one, I'm gonna leave you to do the cylinders here yourself. It should be similar, so you can use the rotation and then well, figure out how to do it. Okay, if you really don't know, you can contact me. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I don't know if you managed to figure out, but I have managed to figure mine out. So maybe just as a conceptual explanation, what I did was I used the existing cylinder, and then after that I kind of like align them with this particular handle and use edit mesh to kind of like snap one end of the cylinder to this portion here and the other end to this portion here, so that the angle is the same. And then after that, all I did was just to make sure that it starts from the same height. Okay, so that's how I did my cylinder for the slanted stairs. Okay, so I think we are ready to move on to the next part, which is Unreal Engine. But before I end, let's make sure that I just want to show you this handle. I want them to be flush. Okay, so let me just isolate it. So as you can see, this box is not flush. So what I want to do now is to go to the left view, okay, and then kind of like edit mesh this box. Okay, and make sure it is the same level as this. Okay, so when I end isolate, thank you so much for following so far. I think this is what we have right now. Is structurally, this is pretty much it. The rest we will just need to bring in the furnitures from 3D Sky and start designing interiorly. So other than that, I think we can move on now. So thank you so much for following me on my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so before we end, I just want to share a bit more on how you can support the channel. So first of all the PowerPoint files that we use in this tutorial, you can download it. So when you download the PowerPoint files and any project files that we give to the channel through Gumroad, your email will be captured by us. So we will send some marketing materials in the future if you allow us to do so. Of course, you can choose to opt out, but this will help us in our marketing efforts. Of course, the final UE4 project file, it will be for sale as well. So if it is priced at a usual tutorial cost fee, but this is absolutely not compulsory. So if you feel you want to support the channel, you can get the UE4 project file for a price. So all these links, as we are preparing for the YouTube videos, we will slowly add all these files into our Gumroad page. So some are not ready yet, some are already can be downloaded. So you can refer to the YouTube description for the links to where to download these project files. And also, I just want to share with you the way to contact us. We have a YouTube channel. You can contact us directly through email, and of course, the easiest way to find us actually is through our Facebook channel. You can directly message us. So these are the links to where you can contact us if you have any questions, you need any help. Feel free to just look for us. Of course, if you can, remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification button, so when we post a new video, you'll be notified. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.